Hey guys, Julia here from English Prep Class. Thank you so much for always tuning into my videos, and to my new subscribers, it's actually good to have you here. Remember to click on the subscribe button so you'll be part of this family. Now in today's video, my main focus will be on improving your oral fluency and pronunciation in the PTE test of English exam. Okay, so for oral fluency and pronunciation, we basically know that you can find those criteria as scoring criteria in your speaking module. The speaking module is the first module in the PTE exam, and it's a very important module. This is because it's going to be adding scores across the reading module and the listening module. And there are three criteria on which will be scored for your speaking module. They are the contents, oral fluency, and pronunciation. Now, for the purpose of this video, we're going to be focusing more on oral fluency and pronunciation. This is because they will give you more marks in the exam than the content. That doesn't mean that the content is not important. For some tasks like the describe image and retell lecture, which are the third and fourth task in the speaking module, you're going to have 5 marks for content and 5 marks for oral fluency and 5 marks for pronunciation. However, the first two tasks that are really very important in the PTE speaking, which are the read aloud and the retell lecture, you have 3 marks each for content, then 5 marks each for oral fluency and your pronunciation. And we're going to be looking at what is this oral fluency, how does Pearson, the owners of the exam, describe oral fluency, and what do they expect of you to have a high mark in oral fluency as well as pronunciation. That's what we'll be talking majorly in this video. Now, Pearson describes oral fluency as when your speech shows smooth reading and phrasing, no hesitations, no repetitions, no false starts. That is what they describe oral fluency as. Now I'm going to break it down like I always do in my videos so that anyone can understand it. What they're simply trying to say in all those grammar is that they don't want you to do when you're reading. For instance, if I want to read this, maybe this is a particular phrase in the exam, something like Mary had a little lamb, its fleece was white as snow. That's everywhere that Mary, that is hesitation. Or Mary had a little lamb, its fleece was white as snow. That's like the pauses, So Pearson is saying for oral fluency, for you to get high score in oral fluency, which is a very important criteria for getting a high score in your PTE speaking, that you have to eliminate pauses, you have to eliminate repetitions, you have to eliminate hesitations. No, Mary had a little lamb, if it's no. Once you begin to do that, you begin to lose points. You're not going to get the highest score for your oral fluency. That is what you need to understand. So you're not going to do a false start. Let's say Mary had a little lamb. Mary had a little lamb. That's a false start. Once you do that as well, you're also going to lose scores for your oral fluency. So oral fluency is very important for you to get a high score in your speaking. That is why you have to practice as much as you can with the help of a tutor, of course, to help you put your oral fluency on point so that you get the score for the oral fluency. For pronunciation, pardon me that I'm actually looking down into my book because I don't have it up here how they describe it. Because when I teach my students what pronunciation or what oral fluency is or what they are, I try to explain it to them in such a way that they would understand it. But I'm actually reading from Pearson Score Guide what they define it as. Let's see that. It says pronunciation. This is when all vowels and consonants are produced in a manner that is easily understood by regular speakers of the language. Simply put, can a native English speaker understand what you're saying? For instance, you want to say something like international football, and you say it's international football, you're not going to, a native English speaker will be wondering what you just said. So what is expected of you when you see such words like that is to say international footballers. You don't say international football. I know that's a normal way that a lot of people speak, but for the purpose or for the sake of this exam, you're just going to try as much as possible to tweak your voice just to pass this exam. Now, if you need to watch a lot of white movies or English-speaking movies, just for the purpose of this exam, for the 1 week or 2 weeks or 1 month you want to practice, please do that so that you can increase the way you speak, the way you pronounce words, especially because this pronunciation is going to give you high marks. It's going to make you get a high mark in your speaking module. Another word that people simply talk about that they don't call very well, pronounce very well, is the word basically. I mean, a lot of people will say it's basically, I'm joining you for lunch, or basically in this video. So I'm not trying to shade anyone here, but just that for the purpose of this exam, you will really need to tweak your voice. So you don't say basically, you say basically. Now, my little son used to say something. There's this thing we call pantry, where we pack stuffs and all that. My son calls it pantry. So one of these days, one of us, and either me or my husband, said it was pantry. And the boy said no, it's called pantry. So these are the ways you need to increase or improve your pronunciation, because once you can fix your oral fluency and your pronunciation, just know that you'll be able to get a high score in your speaking. And guess what? The first two tasks in the speaking module, which are the read aloud and the repeat sentence, would have these scores play out very well in them. What do I mean? I'm just simply trying to say that oral fluency and pronunciation will give you great marks in your read aloud and your repeat sentence. And these two tasks are the bedrock for your speaking score. Let's just look at some tips on how you can improve your oral fluency and your pronunciation. Now, the first one I have here is try to record your voice while you read a passage or a paragraph, or while you try to describe an image. Record yourself and play it back so that you hear how you sound. I mean, sometimes in my class, I record my voice when I'm trying to read a passage, and I send it to my student. I will tell them, I want you to follow the way I read. And then they try to follow that way, the pace at which I read. And when they do it that way, they actually get that reading that the Pearson test of English owners are describing. So try to record yourself. Are you pronouncing the words very well? Are you maintaining that pace, that speed at which they want you to read? These are very important things you need to do. Then the next thing I have here is never read flatly or in a monotone. For instance, maybe you have this word here, Mary had a little lamb, its fleece was white as snow. Then they tell you to read. Maybe you hear the beep. Now it's your turn to read. Then you say something like, Mary had a little lamb, its fleece was white as snow. Are you a robot? So once you read that way, I mean, it's going to not give you a good mark. It's just going to be too flat, and it's a monotone, which is a no for your Pearson test of English. Have you ever listened to people cast news? I mean, I always use newscasters as example. Even if it's a sad news they're going to be presenting, I mean, they're just going to add so much life to it. And once they add life to it, it sounds like enthusiastic, it sounds so interesting, even if it's a bad news or a sad news, okay? So that is the way you're expected to. So you're supposed to read that Mary had a little lamb, its fleece was white as snow, and everywhere that Mary went, the lamb was sure to go. You don't read, Mary had a little lamb, its fleece was white as snow, and everywhere they made. No, once you read that way, you're not going to get a good score. So record yourself, hear yourself, and hear how you speak. And never speak in a flat tone or read in a monotone. And the next point I have here is this. Never read too fast, or it's going to affect your pronunciation score. Now, people think that when they read too fast, that they're going to get that speed or that pace that Pearson describes as fluency. Now, if you read too fast, fine, you might get kind of a high score in your fluency. But how about your pronunciation? Remember that fluency and pronunciation have the same score. So you can't be cheating one where you're trying to build up one or get a high score in one. So what you basically need to do is try to maintain a particular pace so that you can still get out the scores for the pronunciation and the scores for your fluency. Another point here, another tip I want to share here is try to repeat words how they are said and not just what was said. For instance, if they say something like the cafe is behind the library, that's how you're going to say it. You're not going to say the cafe is behind the library. That wasn't the tone the speaker used. Try to understand the pace. Try to understand the tone the speaker used. And these are the things that you need to watch out for in your PTE speaking. That is why you need to hire a tutor like me, because I can help you. I can listen to you while you do your PTE reading, especially the read aloud, which can have a great score, a great impact to your reading. And I also listen to you do your repeat sentence, and I'll make corrections for you where you need to make correction. So remember to follow me on Instagram, find me there, contact me, or leave me a message on my DM in the comment section, and I'll surely get back to you. I mean, I've got some students from my YouTube channel that contacted me to become their tutor. And guess what? When I become your tutor, you will surely pass if you follow my pattern. Just a short recap of what I have just said here. I've basically spoken at length on pronunciation and oral fluency, just trying to show you or tell you how important these two criteria are if you want to pass your Pearson test of English speaking. You can't downplay these two criteria, the oral fluency and the pronunciation. They are very important because from the first task to the fourth task, you have 5 marks each if you do your task very well. If you haven't followed me on Instagram, please, what are you waiting for? Find me on Instagram at english_PrepClass and on Facebook at english-PrepClass. Remember to always leave your comments in the comment section. Any question you have at all, leave it in the comment section. Are you still worrying if you can get 90 in your PTE speaking? Yes, you can. I've helped a lot of students get 90 in their PTE speaking. I'm also a 90 scorer in my PTE speaking and the other modules. So contact me if you need my services. I'll see you in my next video, guys. Please stay safe and be good. Bye.